wrapping text around graphics with clipping paths. So we are going to interact our graphics with our type, and we're going to use our text wrap option. Sometimes people call this a runaround feature. So to prepare, I'm going to open a few things. First, I want to start by getting my text wrap panel under Window, Text Wrap. So we've looked at this panel in the past, and it just indicates how my graphics and my text interact. The first one being there's no interaction. My graphics will be on top of my text. The second is where it looks at the bounding box, and so the text will expand or move away from the graphic up to that bounding box. And the third is the one we want to look at today, wrap around object shape. So I'm going to go ahead and open or place a Photoshop file that has what we call a clipping path saved. So I've made a container, do a file in place my dog silo.psd. That's a Photoshop document. Do open. So now I have my graphic, and if I make sure I have my frame here, you can see that my graphic is just floating over top of my text. So it's covering up part of my words. What I need to do is define my text to wrap around according to the clipping path that's saved with this file. So I'm going to define by clicking the third option, Wrap Around Object Shape button. And when I click that, I'm going to change my contour options down here. So under Type, I need to choose Photoshop Path. So this is something that was defined. It's vector. It was saved in Photoshop in the Paths panel, and it then comes along with this graphic. And if I choose it, what it's going to do is it's going to say, is there multiple paths in this Photoshop document? This one just had one, so I don't have to worry about that. But now I have this way to run my text right up around my shape or my graphic without any weird gaps. And if I click the inset, you're going to see exactly what's happening here. Do you see how that's expanding? So this is actually my clipping. Okay, so it's expanding around. And again, if this was for real, you'd want to give it a little bit of room. The cool thing about this clipping path, it's a graphic. Like I said, it's drawn in Photoshop, and it outlines the area of the image that I want to show when I place it into InDesign. The cool thing is it's vector. So I actually can use some of my tools like my direct selection tool, and you can click on these anchor points and you could edit it. I'll do something extreme here to show you exactly what I mean. So the text is being defined by this vector outline that has been placed around the dog. Pretty cool. Now if I want, I can also do the same sort of thing, but instead of a vector component, which a clipping path is, I can use an alpha channel, which is a raster component. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this dog. And I'm going to select my container, reset it back to the default of it being overlaid on top of my text, do a file in place. This time click My Basketball. This is a TIFF. So right now you can see that I have this bounding box around it. Let's click to wrap around object shape, and this time on my contour options, my path is grayed out because there's no clipping path, but there is an alpha channel. And the alpha channel will allow me to then go close around my basketball. And if I inset it and outset, you can see that I have a line around this one as well.